You may be surprised, but rainforests and coral reefs are connected, even though one lives on land and the other under the sea. What's the connection? Rain. Many reefs get rainwater, but it doesn't all come directly from the sky. Some rain falls on land first in coastal rainforests. That means when people cut down rainforests, it can hurt coral reefs too. Without the trees and their roots, there's nothing left to hold the soil in place. So runoff from rain washes a lot of dirt down into the sea, where it causes big headaches for coral reefs. The dirt, or sediments, cloud the water and come to rest on the reef. The sediments blanket the corals, depriving them of oxygen and food. And since corals can't dust themselves off, they soon die. But dirt isn't the only danger to reefs. There's pollution too. Some people use the ocean like a big toilet. Some animals, like these fish, feed on the sewage gushing out of this pipe into the ocean. It's filled with nutrients. But these nutrients act like powerful fertilizer for some kinds of plants, especially algae, and that can be a big problem for corals. In fact, when some kinds of blue-green algae are fertilized by nutrients, they grow so fast they can cover up an entire reef. It's hard to believe, but this was once a healthy coral reef. When nature's delicate balance is disturbed, even things that seem harmless, like dirt and algae, can become reef killers. So what happens when that balance is tipped in favor of a creature that is already a natural threat to corals? Meet the crown-of-thorns starfish. Growing to be up to 2 feet across and outfitted with venomous spines, crown-of-thorns starfish eat coral. As scary as it looks, the crown-of-thorns is normally just another law-abiding resident of the coral city. But when the reef is bombarded by excess nutrients, the crown-of-thorns can become a reef killer. You see, crown-of-thorns starfish always lay a lot of eggs. The crown-of-thorns babies like to eat algae. The more nutrients, the more algae. But on a healthy reef, the water is clear. Since there isn't much algae for the babies to eat, only a few survive. But when there are lots of nutrients, there's lots of algae, and the crown-of-thorns have a baby boom. Soon, whole armies of crown-of-thorns starfish march across the reef, gobbling up everything in sight and leaving behind a wasteland of bony skeletons. When they get out of control, crown-of-thorns starfish can suck the life out of an entire reef in no time flat. And that's not just a problem for corals, but for all the other species who depend on them, including humans. When the corals die, most of the creatures who lived here have to pack up and move somewhere else if they can. The coral city becomes a lonely ghost town. When there is nothing left to eat, even the crown-of-thorns will starve. So will the fisherman whose dinner comes from the reef. The reef killers destroy everything in sight, but only if pollution gives them an unfair advantage. Once the natural balance is restored, the reef can come back. These little buttons are the beginning of a new coral colony starting up again on the huge foundation of the dead reef. It will probably take them 50 years to bring the coral city back to life. But if people reduce their pollution, the reef can become a paradise again.